While the offseason buzz is all about big names like Damian Lillard and James Harden looking to shuffle the deck, let's not sleep on the Knicks. They're in a sweet spot with a clean salary cap, a few rising stars, and some valuable draft picks up their sleeve. Plus, with team-friendly contracts like Jalen Brunson's and Julius Randle's, they're set. So the question is, what trade magic might the Knicks have in store this season? Let's find out. Number 5. Donovan Mitchell. While talking on a recent podcast, ESPN's Tim Bontemps had some juicy news about Don's future in Cleveland. Spoiler alert, it doesn't sound like he's staying put. But hey, here's a wild thought. What if Mitchell pulls a Damian Lillard and sets his eyes on the Knicks? Would they bite? Let's dig a little deeper. Now I know some folks might be thinking, is Mitchell really the guy we've been waiting for? I mean, can he even mesh with Jalen Brunson? Can they elevate each other's game? Well, to that I say, just look at the numbers. Last season, Mitchell put up 38 or more points 15 times. The guy was on fire. And from downtown, he shot a solid 38.6%, a feat only matched by our own Jalen Brunson, Quentin Grimes, and even Josh Hart during a stretch of games. Now, speaking of Brunson, did you catch his stats after December 4? The man was sinking catch-and-shoot threes at an unreal 52.9%. Pair that with Mitchell driving in and drawing defenders, we're talking about a Knicks offense that could be unstoppable. And while we're on that topic, we gotta talk about RJ Barrett. It's kinda crazy, but when he was on the floor last season, things didn't always go smoothly. But when he took a seat, man, the team crushed it. I mean, with Barrett playing, the Knicks got outscored by 1.2 points every 100 possessions. But when he was benched, they outplayed rivals by 9.2 points per 100 possessions over 1,516 minutes. To put that into perspective, that kind of margin would have made the Knicks one of the league's top teams. Some things gotta give, right? Fortunately, the Knicks have Leon Rose pulling the strings for them, and that dude's been a shrewd deal maker for the Knicks. The Knicks have assets like RJ and Quickly, but come on, for Mitchell, might be a solid trade. And yeah, the whole salary matching thing's gotta happen. The Knicks have to play by the book, but there are ways. Maybe throw in a few other players, sprinkle in some draft picks. I mean, the Cavs wouldn't want to just let Mitchell walk, right? Diving into Mitchell's contract details, the guy's set for 2 more years with a salary that's a bargain in this NBA climate. Knicks better hustle though. Teams like Brooklyn could come knocking, especially if they don't snag Lillard. This could be our shot. Mitchell could be the key. Only question is, who's with me? Number 4. OG Anunoby. OG Anunoby, the talented two-way swingman, has signed with a new agency. Now I know what you're thinking. How does this affect the Knicks? Well, while nothing's set in stone, the odds of OG rocking a Knicks jersey might have just gone up a bit. Word on the street is that there's talk of a trade scenario where we might send Quickly and Barrett, or just RJ, up north to Toronto. But this raises a lot of questions for both teams. What happens with the Fournier situation? Then there's also the possibility of a 3-team trade, with the Raptors regaining the pick they sent to the Spurs in the Poeltl trade. Well, according to Mark Stein, the Raptors aren't too keen on letting Anunoby go, even with all the buzz around him. Sounds pretty much like what we heard last trade deadline. It looks like the Knicks are keeping their top draft picks for someone big. Not entirely sure OG's the one though. Now, if Raptors big boss Masai Ujiri wants to keep the team in the game and shake up the roster a bit instead of a total redo, maybe Anunoby becomes our guy. Everyone's wondering, would Toronto swap OG for our boy RJ Barrett? Yeah, OG's the bigger name right now, but he's got fewer years left in team control, and RJ's got youth on his side. If Ujiri's betting on Barrett's future games and sees a trade as a win-win, things might get interesting. But that's only if our Knicks crew agrees with some of RJ's naysayers about his play. Don't forget, OG could be hitting a free agency in a year if he dips from his current deal. Any squad trading for him would surely want more than a 1-year run. There have been ongoing rumors that Anunoby's eyeing a bigger spotlight than he's getting in Toronto. Last season, he took an average of 13.2 shots per game up there, while RJ was firing 16.1 shots each game here in NY. Could shot numbers be a part of OG's thought process? Now, here's what I'm thinking. Anunoby could really come alive as a key player for the Knicks, especially rolling with Brunson and Randle. He'd amp up our defense and be a menace from deep, given he's been nailing over 38% from beyond the arc recently. He's basically the 3-and-D guy we have been craving, though we gotta admit, creating his own shot ain't his strongest suit. One thing people sleep on with OG is his knack for cutting, and everyone knows the Knicks have been hurting in that department. Plus, the dude's got a keen passing eye. Just imagine Brunson, Grimes, DiVincenzo, Anunoby, and Hartenstein lighting up the scoreboard, playing tight D and sharing the rock. Might not be the starting crew, but man, they'd turn some heads without sacrificing the future. How about a trade like Anunoby and Achua in exchange for Barrett and Quickly? Sounds intriguing, right? But should we go bigger for someone who's still waiting on that all-star nod, even though he's been a rock-solid role guy? Can't really say. Number 3, Paul George. Now there's some buzz going around about a possible Paul George trade. But this really makes me wonder, are the Clippers really gonna max out both PG and Kawhi? And on the Knicks side, do we want to bank on PG, especially with his injury history, till he's 37?
Arms of Covington lets it fly from 17. The shot is short. George goes down.
But here's the deal. PG's still a beast, injuries and all. Dude's been draining threes at nearly 39% for the past 4 years. Not to mention, he's been dishing out 5+ assists.
When he was coaching the Kentucky Spurs, we see PG stick the arm in, the steal, and the emphasis at the end.
And grabbing 6.3 boards on average over that span. That kind of firepower could seriously elevate the Knicks. Think about it. With PG in the lineup, we could be battling it out in the conference finals. And after seeing what Miami pulled off this year, why not us next? So what's it gonna take? A trade built around Julius Randle or maybe RJ Barrett? It's a tough call, but one that might be worth it. Picture George teaming up with Mitchell Robinson and Quentin Grimes. That's one heck of a defensive wall. At the end of the day, no one's promising us a title. But if Knicks Nation wants to dream big and take a shot at that NBA title, PG might just be our guy. Number 2, Zach Levine. I know, there's been a ton of chatter, and most of it ain't too pretty. I mean, I was on that side of the fence too. Questions about the contract, the injury concerns, you know the drill. But then I started looking deeper into the numbers, analyzing what the Knicks like and what they need, and I found something interesting. See, the Knicks have given Levine the side eye not once, but multiple times. There's gotta be more to the story. My bet? It's all about that sweet pull-up 3 game. Dude's silky with it. While our boy RJ has had his moments, he's been a roller coaster from behind the arc, especially compared to Levine, who's been straight up fire for the last 4 seasons. Can we talk a little more about Zach's offense? His efficiency and ability to make those difficult pull-up shots is seriously crazy. I mean, it's kind of surprising that he's not always recognized as one of the top offensive players in the league. Cause if you ask me, he's like a more efficient version of Julius Randle, but with better decision-making and defense. Speaking of D, you know that narrative about Levine being all offense and no defense? Well, time for a fact check. Levine's defense actually stacks up better than Barrett. So, if we consider swapping Levine in for Barrett, we're upgrading our offense without sacrificing defense. It's a win-win situation. Sure, there are concerns about his decision-making and defense, but playing alongside a real point guard like Jalen Brunson could unlock his full potential. It's like the Julius Randle conversation all over again. Remember how he proved everyone wrong last year?
It's so effective and efficient. Randle down the lane for the slam and the foul. Julius Randle with some power.
Maybe Levine can do the same with the right team and support around him. I say we roll the dice. Give Levine a real shot and see what he can bring to the table. Number 1, Pascal Siakam. The Knicks' recent commitment to Julius Randle was seen as a step towards a brighter future. But the winds of change might be blowing once more.
Wizards have been there 8 times. Here's Siakam, 3, good! And the Raptors.
With the name Pascal Siakam now echoing in the rumors surrounding the Knicks, it hints at an intriguing potential future for the franchise. These whispers, validated by reputable basketball analyst Zach Lowe, suggest that the Knicks might be rethinking their core foundation.
I can't believe I'm saying this. I can't believe it. I think it's the Knicks.
Yeah.
As much respect as I have for the Heat and all that they've accomplished, they were one shot from the finals last year. They seem to just get there.
And you know when he says something, there's usually fire where there's smoke. Swapping Randle for Siakam wouldn't just be about a talent upgrade, but a comprehensive shift in team dynamics. Siakam's agility and basketball IQ make him a formidable defensive presence. This, combined with his adaptability, would allow the Knicks to vary their defensive strategies, especially under coach Thibodeau. Offensively, while Randle shines in isolation, Siakam's style thrives on movement. His off-ball cuts, transition play, and improved three-point shooting would gel seamlessly with Brunson's playmaking, reminiscent of Siakam's energy with Kyle Lowry in Toronto. Moreover, Siakam's proven playoff pedigree, evident from his contributions during the Raptor 2019 championship run, showcases his capability to excel under pressure. But here's the tricky part: the money. Both Randle and Siakam have some heavy contracts. Now, if you ask me, Siakam might just be worth the extra bucks, especially considering where the team's headed. But let's be real, the Raptors aren't just going to hand over their star. The Knicks might have to sweeten the deal, maybe throw in some young guns or picks. Heck, who knows, there might even be a third team jumping into the mix to make the numbers work. And let's not forget Siakam's performance in the playoffs. He's shown he can step up and make big contributions when it matters most. So, while it may not be a perfect scenario, Siakam could be the valuable upgrade the Knicks need. It's time to think big and imagine what could be with Siakam in the mix. That's all for today, but if you think I've missed out on any potential trades, make sure to come back for part 2 of Knicks trades that can happen this season.